Hello, it's 3:51 a.m. October 11th, 2021, East Coast, New Jersey. So, I'm wondering if you know or what I was getting at with that last 10-second video showing the earthquakes that occurred in the Vieja Cumbre region. And don't forget that it's a region. It's a large region like this, and then the volcano is up here somewhere, the Cumbre Vieja volcano. So that's just classified as a volcano, but it's a large area. Let me go this way. I can't do it. Anyway, what's the point of that? I think it's very important. Those graphics, what does it show? Well, from the studies, and what's been said about the possible break-off, well, if you look at what I showed there, and in the last video, I'm getting to this one too, because I included in the thumbnail another photo. I'll explain that in a second. But anyway, my point is that, what's my point? From the from September 11th to September 21st, that showed the earthquakes that occurred running right up toward the volcano. That was on the outskirts of the Cumbre Vieja, the whole region on that west side. Okay, well, what does that mean? Again, that shows there was activity going on right at that break-off point before that, leading right up to it. So I think that's very significant and important. And then the other video, or I should say the other image, which I included in this video, not in this video, but you'll see it on the screen when you look at my, see my videos, and this video popped up. You'll see that map too, with all the red circles and dots, just a blob, and it looks very much similar, but with more earthquakes than the last video I did of from the 11th to the 21st of September. So the swarm started on the 11th, lasted till the 21st of September, and then the earthquake, the volcano erupted on the 21st of September. Okay, I know it's confusing. So then this picture that I included with this video takes it back further, from August 1st all the way through up till the eruption. So August 1st, this picture, and the other one in the last video is from September 11th onward till the 21st. So I hope you could see my point. To me, that seems like very significant and kind of amazing information to come across. I don't know, to me it seems very revealing and like startling to, it's right there in front of us, and I don't think I wouldn't have seen it. I don't know if anyone else did, or maybe others have, unless it was in a video, and I got that on, what was it, Wikipedia? In other words, if you just see a picture like that at the end of the last video, and you stop it right at the end, you'll see, earthquakes, and you'll say, oh, all right, so that's the earthquakes there were. But if it's in a progressive video, and you could see the starting point of it, and it like travels in a line like a mole, burrowing through the ground all the way up. And I think it's amazing because it goes right along the edge there of that ridge, which is the base of the Cumbre Vieja, like the mountain range. In other words, like you have sort of like flatter land, and then it goes up. So that's the break-off point that all those volcanoes. Well, I'm not saying it. Well, I'm not saying specifically, but that seems to be the focus. Yeah, well, that's what it's said to be. So I guess I'm safe to say that that seems like it could or would be the break-off point that those earthquakes seem to be traveling. And you see in that last video, they traveled. In the progression of the video, they traveled right up to the north, like in an arc or sort of a C, slight curve, from south to north. Actually, from south, more like a bit westerly, northwest, and you'll see, and then it goes up and heads toward right to the volcano and stops there. And then the other interesting thing is I did a video a few back, and I'm sorry here, but it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I have been reading so much that I literally can't see. I mean, my eyes are blurry. I've been looking at so much information, but all right, this is the point. If you see the picture that I have for that video, the one where it says, what does it say? Yeah, grid pattern. See the one with the grid pattern? That shows earthquakes that occurred, I guess, since the volcano erupted, I think. But anyway, it doesn't matter because in the area, whatever it is, it shows that area, I guess more to the south of the volcano. It doesn't matter to the east, but it shows a perfect like checkerboard pattern. So that's very revealing too. So there's like, you know, you follow the path, you follow the whatever it's called, you know, wherever your nose leads you, you follow it. And so I think I came upon this information with the pathway of those earthquakes, and it seems so crazy to me, so so amazing. I mean, go look at it. It's from the first ones from August 1st. They go right in a line. Basically, I mean, they curve around, but they're basically headed in a line. So they're carving out, I don't know how else to put it. Maybe they're sort of carving out, you know, loosening that fault there, or whatever. It's not technically a fault, but maybe in a sense, maybe it has become one it slightly, or it's just weakening. It weakened it. I think so. I really do, especially that's the focus area. And then again, why are those other earthquakes in a perfect pattern? You know, it really makes you wonder. It doesn't make me wonder, but I have to word it that way. You know, that's not natural, put it that way. Neither are those rings that they say are gravity waves or some crazy explanation. Perfect circles like cloud circles. I'm sure you've seen that from above, from a satellite picture, going right around in perfect circles around the volcano, extending outward. I don't care what they want to call it. That's not natural. I see stuff like that all the time here. To me, it's totally normal. I do. Not necessarily not around like that, but I see perfectly formed lines like scales, like perfect lines, like 100 of them in perfect rows in the sky. And sometimes they're curved in a certain way. But to me, it's always been normal. So maybe me telling you that, it's like you've never seen it before, or rarely. But to me, all these things aren't abnormal from here in crazy New Jersey. And chemtrail to death. I mean, they're just line them up, you know. Psh, there goes another one. There goes another one. It's just crazy, but and crazy sounds in the sky all the time here, and booms. Almost shake where I live here. Shake. Sometimes I haven't heard it really for a long time, but it used to be common. Just boom, boom. Like, where the heck did they come from? It's coming from like the sky or near the horizon, and it's just crazy. It like shakes buildings. So that's acoustic. I don't want to say the word, but you know what I'm getting at here. And I think that could be part of the equation here with also what's going on with the ground shaking and so forth. That I'm choosing my words here, but acoustic help, all right? Help along the way, shaking through sound. And I've also seen what looks like bright white, I don't know, maybe I don't know, I don't want to get into all this now, but maybe bright white glowing near around the volcano, and also there was blue light. So just use your imagination. I'm not going to go into that. Now Dutch Sense mentioned again, he believes any day here, for like within the next 2 days. I think he said, like I had put up a video, he said just now that he expects like a 5 or greater, like mid 5, put it that way, for La Palma within the next, like, it could happen tomorrow or the day after. He didn't, I mean, he's not saying it will, but I mean, he's from his whatever, he would expect that within a few days, within a day or two here, that should happen. And he also mentioned that it should be comparable in other wording about this. He also said it should be comparable to the Hawaiian earthquakes, the two that just happened. What was one 5.9, one was 6.2. I think he's hinting, because he did say or greater. I think he said mid 5 or greater. So I think he thinks it could go up to like the 6 range. And that's what I want to mention this too, because I kind of made a mistake maybe in that video where I put that from the antipode calculations. It would be 3 days from the Vanuatu earthquake, which was on Saturday the 2nd, and I said like the 5th or 6th, that energy should be here. But I guess I was wrong. I haven't watched Dutch Sense in a long time. I really haven't followed stuff, volcanoes, but now interested because of all this. Anyway, he mentioned, I think tonight, was it? Yeah, I think he said that. He mentioned the antipode of the volcano there. Often, I guess it's more next to Papua New Guinea, but it's the same general region, whatever it is. I'm not going to try to say it. Vanuatu. Anyway, that's in the same antipode region that leads up to the La Palma area, and I think he said that, or maybe somebody else said that, but it does, and it was about the same magnitude, 7.0 or 7.1, but he said it takes 7 days, so I may have made a mistake. Now, to make things more confusing, not confusing, but wow, a lot of stuff going on. My point. So 7 days from the 2nd or 3rd would be right about now, which is what he's expecting that energy to come. So I was kind of off, but he's still expecting the energy from the first quake on Saturday, October 2nd, to be here now, to maybe initiate, like he said, a pretty powerful quake up by La Palma, Canary Islands, he said, like today or tomorrow. And the other point is that the energy from this one is the same magnitude down there, and it's going to be same thing. It's like a repeat right from this, almost the same spot. I don't know, I didn't map it out. It's kind of hard on that app to do that, but he, at least Dutch Sense, said it was in that general area. I don't have the exact coordinates to see if it would be, right near it or what, as compared to the last quake and what I talked about in that video, about the antipode idea. So what's today? All right, so Sunday, those quakes took place in Hawaii, and about 7 days from, there's so much things to remember here. The 10th was yesterday, because I'm into tomorrow already, but I haven't slept, so it's the 11th. So yesterday, Sunday, the 10th, those 2 earthquakes occurred in Hawaii, on the Hawaiian island. And so from the 10th to around the 7 days from that would be around the 17th or 18th, more comparable, equal energy is likely heading right up there again. So, again, you could almost, I don't know, I'm not an expert, and he didn't say exactly, but I'm just saying, in a general talking here, you could pretty much bank on it that not only, that there might or could or should or would or hould or did you know, another large quake there from 7 or 8 days, but we still have this one to go, and within tomorrow or the next day is like the threshold point. Of course, it might not happen. Energy can be redirected or whatever. So I don't know. I'm not saying anything, but you know, just in a general prognostication from what he knows and from science and everything that they studied this, that the antipode, in other words, if you haven't heard this, me talk about it, antipode means opposite pole or opposite place from where it originated from, on the opposite side of the globe. It's the exact opposite point on the globe. So, and then there's other quakes he talked about. There's so much going on. My head's spinning. Other large quakes with other antipodes going to other, oh, forget it. I mean, this is getting so crazy. Everything that's going on, this is going on through the whole world right now with these quakes and so on, and volcanoes going off crazy. I think a CME, like an M1 or whatever. Did that happen already, or is this the one? I don't even know. But today, that's supposed to maybe bring more energy and possibly, probably, whatever you want to say, increase earthquakes today from that. And then stuff in the sky going on. I caught pictures of that. There's so much I could say. I have pictures. I didn't show that. I have comments I've been looking all through. I didn't put any of them up. There's so much stuff that I've been looking at, and I could, you know, I wanted to do the comments, but it's like, right now I feel like it really might not even matter, because this thing might go down quick here, and, you know, we're going to see a point reached at this maybe very, very shortly here. Then the whole thing with Bushcraft Bear, I don't want to cause a big problem with that, but I mean, I was going to, you know, talk about that more, especially Mary Greeley is very upset that, well, I'll just say it, that he isn't giving out the certain information that, you know, she's really an expert on whatever, geology, earthquakes, and so on, that, I mean, she really knows, and she's upset because the information isn't getting out, and people could, I have to say people could be in danger if this thing really deteriorates more. Not could be, it's being downplayed, even by him. I'm sorry, he could get mad at me because the sulfur dioxide and stuff, and ash and lava, glass particles, microscopic, I mean, that's all being downplayed. Everything's being downplayed. And while he was on the screen, like, you know, it looks like gasping for air, saying, oh, the air is fine, and it's squinting his eyes, and you could see this, you could see the smoke in the air, and he's not breathing well, and his eyes are squinting, and you say the air is fine here today, you know? I don't know. And then the whole top portion, like almost the whole northern part of the island, has lifted 4 inches. The whole part of almost the whole northern part, except for like a slice of the north west area, but it's like, I'd say 40% or so of the whole island lifted, and then the other part sunk 4 inches. Okay, everything's fine. I mean, what does that tell you? There's something going on. There's a collapse occurring, and like I said, I showed you in this, by that picture that I put up here in the last video, that was being that seems to me, those quakes are sort of eating and eroding away all the way up to the volcano. And if there's big quakes now, you know, the word is kaboom, capoodles, or whatever, you know. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but who knows? I mean, my gut instinct again, I totally, again, this moment, it's something big is going down. We're at some kind of point here. I mean, as far as the rapture goes, whatever it has to do with it, I mean, Is it an indication that we're going to leave here? Is something about to happen like this? All I could tell you is, I feel that. I feel that this is part of it somehow, and overwhelmingly, it just feels like we're at the last moment here. Regardless if anything falls off the table here into the ocean, it sure seems like it. So I'm sort of going by, well, there's so many signs that I've had, so many signs that I've seen. I haven't even mentioned that most others of them, or other things I wanted to explain, because I just seeing it's just overwhelming. The information, the signs, the things happening, the earthquakes, prophecy, so on. And so this island seems to be the focus of it. And I just, a couple of videos ago, I showed that angel. Some may say, oh, that's not an angel, it was a bird. To me, it was totally an angel. I know it wasn't very clear because it's not very good, photography, because I had to copy it using my, I had to videotape it using my laptop, turning it around, putting it on a second screen, and of course it didn't come too good. And I said something in there at the end. I didn't mean it sarcastically, and it wasn't toward anyone here, where I said I don't know why you can't see that on your screen. I didn't mean like the angel, if you saw it or not. Like, I just meant that I was looking at my screen and it was half dark, and so I didn't know if you were, what you were saying, if you were, obscured half of the screen was. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that. Yeah, and I'm not going to get into this here, but the thing, not just with Mary Greeley and being upset and everything, but I mean, I feel like she had a right to be, she's trying to warn people as others are out there. And I don't know, I feel, I don't want to say it, I don't feel good about all of this. I really don't. People trying to warn people about the dangers and others downplaying it, and then causing a problem, and making others look like they're the bad guy. I don't think she's the bad guy or the bad girl. I mean, people got angry at her and unsubscribed and all these things, and then it goes into Christians against Christians and discernment. Who's having good discernment here or bad discernment? And again, I'm going to finish this quick here, but again, what does it get back to? It gets back to faith, to belief, to what the gospel is, and how to discern it, and how to discern who is of God or not. I'm not saying pointing this toward Bushcraft Bear. I really don't know. I mean, he hasn't explicitly said anything about his faith or not, though others are assuming things. Okay, brother, and this and that. I don't know. I'm just going to leave it there. But, and again, I can't go into this all. I don't want to get into this all again, because I pretty much got away from all of that stuff. But if I have to still speak here and there, I will, because what's the gospel? It seems like it's just most are oblivious to it, as far as even what I mean, doing works or what it means to even be saved. And so that's a part of what's going on here. It's revealing all this too in this type of situation. I believe it really does. I mean, in discerning the truth in general about something, a situation, someone, it may not even be spiritually related, or it might coexist, or it might be just so-called believers amongst so-called believers, and separating who's of God or not, and in a general sense what the truth is or not about, let's say, the truth about what could happen with this volcano. And I wasn't going to get into this here. Maybe I'll just mention it briefly here, because I don't want to do another video about it. I might not even come on and do it. But I mean, he got on, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago, and he purposely read something from the Bible, the verse about, I'm not going to quote it now, whatever, but I'll say it and you'll probably know, where, why do you lose sleep, or, your watchmen watch in vain because I give my whatever sleep. So what he's trying to say is, those who are saying all these things and are fear-mongering, and they're just, they can't wait for disaster, or they're being sensational. No, that's not at all. That's not why I'm here. That's not why these others are here. They're trying to help people. And if he and others can't see that and want to support someone and worship them like a messiah, and that's what's being done here, I'm sorry, I gotta say it, then go right ahead. I mean, but you want to believe what you want to believe. I think you know what verses I'm talking about. I can't look it up right now where it came from, but he quoted it from the Bible. He read it, and very, what's the word? I don't know, softly, to play. I'm sorry, to play on emotions. I just had to. I can't think of any of their terms, so it may sound derogatory, but that's basically what it sounded like to me. And to sort of oppose those who are speaking out, make it seem like, and then he's just making it seem like everything's basically okay. We'll get through this, and it sure is not. Sure is not. He looks pretty afraid and startled by, again, a third thing happened. He was startled by explosion, I think, again today. So, I mean, looking over the shoulder, and again, I'm not, when I say this, I'm going to say this, but it's not like derogatory, but he looks kind of shaken and worried, and his health doesn't look that good from breathing all that stuff in. He looks a little thin in the face, a little hard breathing, although, he's trying to say he feel, not say anything is really wrong, but I mean, and others have noticed that. So, for the concern of anyone there, this is affecting others, whether anyone wants to accept it or not, or try to play it down and pretend that it's not, and that this is just going to go away. It's not going to go away. It's getting worse, much worse by the hour. Anyone who wants to argue with that, I'm not here to argue. Just look at what's happening. That's all you have to do. Go listen, put the ear pods on or whatever, full blast, and listen to the live stream, and it'll blow your brains out. It's so loud, like you're inside a jet engine. The exhaust, it's like, and the explosions just will knock you right off your chair. So, and then, like I just said, the ground lifting and falling and so on, and quakes in different areas, increase of the quakes in the magnitude, the depth, so on, what that indicates. I'm not going to get into that all here. But someone did say, again, don't ask me who or where, I've been reading so much stuff, that this is the type of a volcano that, and the ground, where it could be a sudden split. It doesn't, and you know what I'm saying? It could be just a sudden break off. It doesn't have to be gradual. And it doesn't have to cause one big explosion. It's a certain kind of Strombolian or whatever volcano. I know it's that, but maybe that's not what I'm trying to say, the other thing I heard. But the point is, it's not something that you could even expect. I think, I remember now, I think they talked about don't ask me the years, 1971 or 17, no, not the earliest one, not the 1971, but the 1791, I don't know. But anyway, that one came suddenly, like, I don't know, but I'm confusing myself here, but that's the point. It's not something that you could wait for necessarily a progression of things and say, oh, if this happens, then that has to happen, that has to happen, then you could be worried. No, this is happening in the ground, and has been happening, and whether a big quake is necessary or whatever or not, it could break off. Put it that way. It could break off at any time. So now now there's not only the quakes to rumble the ground, but the magma and the displacement going on under the earth, and who knows what. Others can explain that more. So the earth, the ground, the magma, everything seems to be in motion and moving, and everything is not okay. It's not just affecting 10% of the island, because half the island it slid 4 inches, and the other half rose 4 inches. And the earthquakes aren't in one concentric area, aren't within 10, well, they sort of are, but, you know, the smoke and everything, you know what I'm talking about. It's not just like in a little compartment here, you know, and everything's okay everywhere else. Now the island is cut off because of the new lava flow. I think the whole east and west of the bottom part is cut off because they can't get through, because there's a big slab stream of lava going through there. So you can't say that everything's nice and cozy. You know, the water situation, everything. I'm not going to get into it, but if someone can't see the writing on the wall by this time, you know, they're going to have to go through, pay the consequence, put it that way, unfortunately. So we'll see how this is going to go. If this person is going to keep reporting there, then we'll see. But I mean, it's more like a tourist agency trying to get others to see it's okay and come visit us, you know, come and see the volcano, you know. So these people, me included, who are trying to warn people, trying to get the facts out and the truth, it's for the benefit of others. It's not for any other reason, to be sensational, or I don't know. It's just such a rift and split going on here, even with Christians, or those who are saying they're Christians, and saying, you know, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't be this way, come against someone like that, so innocent. And, you know, speaking truth has become evil. It has. And I've experienced that here, I believe, on YouTube. I've stopped all the teaching and everything. But you may not even know what happened. You probably don't want to. But it extends through years and years. But then me coming back on here, that's another part of the story. But all the things I went through, and making me feel like a monster or something, just for standing up for Jesus, that Jesus is salvation himself, and he being in you. That's all I tried to say. He's everything of salvation. And look where it's gotten me. Really, such a backlash, even with those, you know, of grace, and then the grace camps that I call them, the Gnostic grace, and then I'll get into all this again. Then that Gnostic grace, I believe a lot of people think that they're saved just by mentally. Won't get into that now, but they're not born again. They oppose having Jesus within you, dwelling within you, and having a changed life and fruits. That means anything to them. It's just mental. And then from that, it's like, I think most of the church, the remaining ones in grace, are mesmerized, literally, like, by all this, and they don't seem to understand what I was trying to say too, because it's not just of the head, it's of the spirit. All I was trying to say is Jesus alone is salvation. Him alone, he in you. He's what I continue to say is the hope of glory, Christ in you, Christ in us, the hope of glory. As Paul said, not by works, not by might, not by good deeds, not by anything we do, not by trying to remain holy. Only holiness in us is Christ in us, and his Spirit dwelling within us, and that he's birthed within us a new man, a new creation, and that's holy because he's holy and his Spirit is holy, and he saved us, not any other reason. And of course you do not, cannot, will not ever lose redemption and salvation once you're saved. And it's not just a mental thing. It's not just a mental thing on both sides of the aisle, whether works or Gnostic grace. It's not. It's inward, the inward man, the inward birth, conversion experience. Jesus talked about it over and over. And he's the vine, we're the branches, and his fruits, his good fruits, are put in us, and there's a change, and we're changed. We're made alive in Christ, not perfect, still capable of sinning, of those things, because we still have that nature within us. So to close this, I'll end here, and I should end again by saying that I don't know if I'm going to be remaining up here. I mean, my plan is till the end, to at least do reporting or whatever you want to call it, with this volcano situation and things I hear and see and signs or whatever. But if I'm still allowed to be up here, considering the things that I'm saying is what I'm saying, so I never know what might be my last video, so I have to keep mentioning this might be, and also because we might get raptured. Literally, we could any second here. We really could. So again, I don't know if this is my last video or not, or whatever. So it went pretty long, but I said what I had to say for right now, at least, and we'll just leave things alone until we see what happens, maybe in the next few days. I don't know if I mentioned the CME. I guess I did, yeah, and other things, whatever. Yeah, I'm trying to remember Monday, today, Columbus Day. Well, that's what it's called. If you're not from this country, that's what it's called. Columbus Day in the United States. Columbus, and what was it, 1492, Columbus sailed the blue. That's the old thing we learned in school. That's the date. So it's a day associated with the sea and water. I hope nothing happens, but who knows when something like that could happen. I say it that way because we see what's happening here right this second. But I hope you're not worried. I'll repeat this again. I'm like close to the ocean here. I mean, not real close, but I mean, as the saying goes, you know, I live on the Jersey Shore area, put it that way. Not right on the shore, but whatever. My point is that I'm not concerned about a tsunami. As far as me, I'm not worried about it. I mean, of course, this is crazy. I wouldn't want this to happen to others anywhere, but it's not up to me and the reasons why, or who's doing it, or what, and who or what is causing this. So I think that needs to be said. More reassurance. You know, just not being fearful, because he has to come sometime, and this is a perfect moment, really, Jesus. And I'm totally at peace. I'm not worried whatsoever about any of this. And I'm only here to report these things because I feel led to. That's all. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it. All right. So, what time is it? I can't even see. I told you because of strained eyes. 4:37 in the morning, 10/11/2021. Reporting from New Jersey. I have to sleep, and whatever time I get up tomorrow, see what's going on, if I'm come back or not by tomorrow or the next day, maybe see what happens. All right, I talked enough, so just think about what I said. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.